The trip to Scandinavia has been awesome. It's one of my dream trips, and it's lived up to its expectations.
The fjords and the glaciers and the mountains makes you so humble. Being in front of those amazing works of God, it's just unbelievable.
Gate 1's classic tour of Scandinavia begins in Norway's capital city of Oslo. We then travel to the scenic town of Lillehammer, the beautifully preserved stave church in Flom, and we'll explore the breathtaking fjords aboard the famous Flom railway and cruise. Next, we tour the picturesque city of Bergen before traveling south into Sweden to visit the lively city of Gothenburg. This tour of Scandinavia concludes with a stay in Copenhagen, Denmark's capital city full of rich culture and royal palaces.
This tour of Scandinavia is we start here in Oslo, where we start with the Vigelands Park, which is a sculpture park. It is fantastic, and you can only see it in Norway. There are no Vigeland sculptures outside the country. Then we continue on to see the city, and we will go to the famous Opera House of Oslo, and we go to the City Hall. It's where the Nobel Peace Prize is given out every year on the 10th of December. And after our city tour, we go out to the island to see the Viking ships.
To see the ship and see the way they were built, the planks, the design, how they were carved, how they fastened it together, and to know that they did this so many years ago without modern tools was fabulous.
We continue on to the Stave Church in Flom.
Stave Church is like something out of a storybook. I mean, that was just beautiful. The carved altar and the inscriptions inside the church, that was simply amazing.
I mean, it's a piece of art. Besides the religious significance, that thing being assembled as it was, without a nail, without a screw, without a piece of metal, worth the whole day just for that.
From there, the next day, we travel along the fjord. We cross by ferry to the little village in Flom. And in Flom, we will go on the very famous Flom rail.
The scenery was just stunning. The landscapes were lush, the little farmhouses, all colorful, dotting the sides of the shores. And of course, there are so many waterfalls. I think that was one of the most surprising things about it.
Loved the cruise. Love the huge mountains coming right down into the water. I love the scenery, but most of all, I love the waterfalls. There were so many waterfalls, I could never count them. Beautiful experience for me. I didn't want to get off the boat.
From there, we continue on to Bergen, and then you will go out to the composer Edvard Grieg's home.
Bergen is one of my favorite spots so far.
There are a lot of beautiful buildings here. The architecture is great. The food is great. There's every kind of possible shopping that you can imagine at every price point here.
You can't go to Bergen without a stop at the fish market, because that's what Bergen is so well known for.
It was the first time that I actually ate whale. It cannot get any fresher than that.
We got to pick out our fish, and they grilled it, and just to see all the people there, it was wonderful.
From there, we continue on to Gothenburg in Sweden. You, of course, have to try the Swedish meatballs when you are in Gothenburg.
I thoroughly enjoy the fact that we stay downtown. Part of the time we walked in a group and explored the food of the area, and part of the time I just wandered on my own.
You can try a little harbor cruise in Gothenburg Harbor, do the canal cruise.
Copenhagen is a fairy tale come to life. When you're wandering the cobblestone streets, you are passing buildings from the late Renaissance on, a variety of pastel colors, and so it's a marvelous place to wander.
We have a city tour in the afternoon where you get to see where the Queen she lives in the Marienborg Palace. Of course, you get to see the Little Mermaid. You have to see the Little Mermaid in Copenhagen. The next day you will have the opportunity to join our optional tour outside Copenhagen to Kronborg Castle, Hamlet's castle, the castle of all castles in Northern Europe. From there, you continue to the famous Frederiksborg Castle, where you see the national collection of the National Museum in Denmark.
We've been on 12 trips with Gate 1. I think it's the best value that you can find. The quality of the trip, the guides that you get, the education you get, and the price point, it's the best vacation.
I don't know how you guys do it, but it's very affordable and the value that you get is immense.
As long as we're traveling, we're going with Gate 1. The accommodations are taken care of. If there's an episode or something didn't work out, they're right there. They take care of it so we can enjoy what we're here for.
It's like having a concierge and making it so I can spend my time not on the details, but enjoying my vacation.
I've loved the people that we've met on Gate 1. It's kind of like you become a family.
And while we come from different places and have different interests, we are all active, curious people, because that's what travelers are.
I absolutely am so grateful that we planned this trip. And if they're thinking about coming to Norway, hop the next plane with Gate 1.
So come to Scandinavia. It's a great destination, and I would love to take you around in my part of the world.